I'm Judy. Hello there, I'm Carol.
Hello, I'm Peggy.
And we're the Wildflowers.
So
So how's everybody doing?
Doing great.
Oh, doing great. Yeah, I'm doing great. You know, I don't think I told you, but you know, I've been dog sitting, and I'm sitting for a chinchilla, a rabbit, a guinea pig, 3 hermit crabs, and a black lab. Okay, and my kids are on vacation. So last night I went outside and brought the dog upstairs because I feed them up in their apartments. And when I came back out on the back porch, there's this bag of food from Umberto's. So I said, oh, maybe Jessica ordered dinner for me because I'm minding all the animals. And I brought it in, and I see there's a Greek salad like that big. There's a big thing of raviolis, a big loaf of garlic bread, and 2 ciabatta rolls. So I said, Jessica wouldn't order this much food for me, but I called her anyway. And she goes, oh no, I wish I did do that, Mom. I feel bad. So I called Umberto's, and I told him, I said, I have food here, and I didn't order it. I said, but maybe it belongs to one of my neighbors. Can you tell me who it belongs to, and I'll bring it over to them? Right. And he said, I have no idea. That was like from Uber Eats or DoorDash. He said, you know, we just prepare the food. We don't know who it's going to. So he said, just keep it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So I had nothing for dinner last night. I went to the beach and I forgot to thaw something out for dinner. Right. So I got a free dinner, most of which I threw out because it was just too much food. Oh, there was also a slice of pizza with extra cheese.
So you had all this food and you didn't call Carol and have you eat
I live too far. You wouldn't have come. Nobody likes to come to the North Shore.
No, there's a problem with that because somebody did not get their food.
No, but what they do is they get a notification that your food has been delivered, and then they're going to say, hey, my food hasn't been delivered, and then they call either DoorDash or Uber Eats, and they get a refund, and they can choose to reorder.
Wow.
So,
that's
anyway.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
was it delicious?
No.
No?
Oh,
you know what? Every time I order like pasta from a pizzeria, I love Umberto's Pizza. They have delicious New York pizza. The Greek salad was good, but it was, I'm not kidding, it was enough for like the 3 of us probably couldn't have finished it.
Wow.
And they always overcook the pasta.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they keep it on a steam table. Yeah. The raviolis were so overcooked. I said, nah.
No. I'd rather a little undercooked.
Yeah, and the ricotta cheese was creamy.
Everything. You do. This
well,
I like to eat. You ever see the way she eats her steaks?
Yes,
it's disgusting.
Running in the field, she cooks it.
Yeah. No, I do like it.
Yeah, but pasta should be al dente. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got a free dinner. It was a surprise, and I said, "Oh, yeah, I don't have to worry about."
Well, thank you, Umberto. It was very nice.
That was very nice.
Did you have wine last night? Yes, exactly. Did you have wine last night? Always. She always. Well,
that's just a silly question.
Today
Carol,
it's.
really.
I know. Today's my day.
Nice.
Tonight it's a daytime. We're taping this, but whatever.
A little day drinking.
So I'm going really cheap. 19 Crimes. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it or tried it. What I thought was fun about this wine, and actually it turns out that the New York Times this week, Wednesday's paper, had wine gets better with thought. And do you know that this coming, I think the 28th is Monday, it's National Red Wine Day?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've been getting ready. I've been preparing all month.
I have a lot of reds in my house.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So you can celebrate.
But I did not know about this. So tell me about it.
All right. So it also some of the headlines was.
Excuse me a minute. Is that on Sunday?
The
28th is today the 26th, right?
Today's the 26th.
Oh, so Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Oh,
okay. National Red Wine Day. Okay.
No, that's Monday. Today's Friday.
Oh yeah, today's Friday.
Yeah, but it's the 26th, right?
Right.
27th, 28th, Saturday and Sunday.
And she said the 29th.
No, I said 28th.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the 28th.
Gotcha. All right.
26th, yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Anyway.
So I was right.
Okay. Anyway, think of wine as from the soil. And I thought that was really interesting, to think of it from the soil. And then another notation is, go ahead, what did you want to say?
Mindfulness.
Exactly, mindfulness. That says, think of wine as an adventure. And I couldn't help but think that was kind of fun, because you're not going to be able to see this, because I'm going to show my friends this.
You're not her friend,
No,
obviously.
it's called Living Wine Labels. And if you hold it up to
Easter Monday,
Oh,
1876.
look at that.
We made break for the ship Catalpa. We nearly sunk getting to her, but after 2 days, hands bloody from rowing, we boarded the Catalpa and escaped.
so you hold it up to the bar. It has to be
Yeah, do it so
Do
we
it
can
this
see
way.
it. Yeah. And then hold it the other way, like
No,
this.
it's too confusing.
For you.
Yeah, but we,
Yeah, let's try it.
Try it.
Let's try it.
Alright, try it this way.
Where's your camera on?
There's-
Down there?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
here.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be a clusterfuck if I ever know.
No.
No, it's not gonna. You're not
It's
gonna
gonna
do it
work.
because you.
No.
No, it's not
No.
gonna work. No, no, it's
No.
not because you have to. It's too confusing. But
Never
it's
mind.
called Living Wine Labels and the bottle. But
This
it's
guy comes alive. We have to explain. It's like those museums where
Yes.
you'll see a living
Mhm.
museum. This man is speaking to us in that husky voice
yes,
like
yes,
that.
and you get a whole story.
Yes.
Which, I tricked some people with it because they thought the wine bottle was actually talking because they're not terribly bright. But I won't say who. But yeah, it was kind of funny. But anyway,
That's cool.
I got a jump on this bottle last night because it was called research.
I noticed. I was going to
Yeah.
bring it up if you did.
So
It's almost empty.
no,
Wow, Carol.
no, it's
Yeah.
not.
Is there enough for the three of us?
Yes,
No.
yes.
I just want a little bit.
Why?
Because the whole day drinking thing, you know.
Oh.
Stop, that's a lot.
Let's chill drink it. It's okay.
I love
So
that.
anyway, it's called 19 Crimes, and it's from Australia. Now, Peggy,
Oh,
did you
I
say
know
you don't
why.
like Australian wine?
I'm not crazy about most of them. I have had,
Yes.
I know 19 Crimes has a couple of different blends.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some of them, and yeah, no, they're not bad.
But, well, it's got vanilla aromatics and red currants and dark cherries and some chocolate.
Now,
What's
is this
the
a
blend?
real person? Oh, it's a Cabernet. This is
Oh, it's a Cabernet.
Oh, okay.
And is this a real inmate or a former inmate, or did they just make him
You know
up?
what? That's a really good question. I wish I had an answer for it.
We don't know.
We could do all
And her
this.
research was more in tasting the
That's not-
wine
yeah.
than in
No,
investigating
no
the crime, I
surprise there.
guess.
Well,
Now, how much does this
Yeah.
cost?
Okay, it varies, and I went cheap. This can go from $9, depending where you buy it, $9 to $12 a bottle.
Okay, that's not
So
bad.
Okay.
it's pretty cheap. So
Alright, salute.
yes.
Oh, can I actually make a toast real quick?
Sure, sure.
Today, a good friend of mine named Jennifer,
Mhm.
I knew from Massachusetts. Today is her brother's 55th birthday. Now, her brother unexpectedly passed away a few years ago. So every year for his birthday, she asks somebody somewhere to raise a glass in honor of his
Aw.
memory. And today just happens to be his birthday.
And
So-
what's his name, Joseph?
No, Matt. His name
Matt.
was Matthew.
To
Matt.
Matthew.
Matthew.
Oh, we're
Happy
s-
birthday.
Happy
Matt.
birthday.
Yes. And let's see if we don't spit this out.
You know what? I like it.
Yeah, it's
It's thin. I mean, I know it has.
Yes, I
you
know.
laugh at me when I say my weird words. I'm not a
for a
sommelier,
Cabernet, it is.
but it is very
Yes.
thin
Yeah.
for a Cabernet.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not.
Let's
It's not a
put
bad.
this
But it's
No,
thinner.
no, it has a nice taste.
It is very.
But it,
So it's called 19 Crimes.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. In
I'm
case
looking at the man with the husky voice.
she likes that. Yeah, no, and like Peggy said, there's a different types of the 19
yeah,
Crimes.
different blends and
Yeah, but I've been drinking Chianti a lot and Pinot Noir, but this Cabernet I didn't mind. I wasn't too choosy last night when I opened it
No.
up. So
I think I've seen this wine in the store, but I've never bought it because I usually have my
it looks
standby.
kitschy, and I hate
Right.
kitschy looking
Yeah.
wines.
Mhm.
But no, it's good.
it tastes
Yeah,
like
no,
And
it's
it's
good. I like
there's
it.
an oak flavor to it as well. I can taste that now a little bit at the end.
yeah, it's,
so.
the
there.
flavor stays on the back of your tongue too.
Is that good or bad for you?
It's good. Like it's like eating liverwurst, and you can keep on tasting it all day.
No, that's
I love
But
liverwurst.
this would be, I think, a really good wine for the heat in the summer for people who want to drink and not have a white wine. You know, this I think would be a nice light
Right.
red
Yeah.
wine for
And
the
if
summer.
you have a lot of people, it's very cheap to buy
That's
one
right.
of the
Yes.
It works out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, so
All right.
19
Okay,
crimes
good.
from Australia, and I guess the vote is get it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And get the app so that you can see the
I
little
know,
guy
I want
talking.
to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of fun. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
All right. So now I have the book, right?
you do.
Okay.
It's your turn to
It's
talk.
my turn to talk about the book.
We're always talking about books.
I didn't finish the book yet, but as you can see, I'm almost there. The name of the book is Stories from the Tenants Downstairs. It's by Sidik Fofana. This is his debut novel. It just came out on Tuesday, August 16th, so it's a new release. Sidik lives in the Bronx, and he is actually a high school teacher in Brooklyn.
Mm.
And I would like to try and get him to do an event with on the road book events.
Yeah.
I think that he would be a good draw, and I really love the book. It is, as the title indicates, stories from the tenants downstairs. They're short stories, but they're all interconnected. And they're all from a high-rise building in Harlem.
That's so cool.
So
I
the
love that
stories
concept.
are all
Love it.
about
Yeah.
people of color too,
Mhm.
who most of them are poor.
Right.
They're not homeless, but
Right,
like they
right.
struggle to pay their rent, and the schools aren't that good.
Does it take
and
place contemporary time? It take place.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, and
Okay.
and in Harlem.
Right.
So what else did I want to say about this?
Well,
It
I
is-
just want to say that
Mhm.
Peggy and I went to Virginia a couple weeks ago to visit her daughter. We took Amtrak train because it's so relaxing. And Peggy was reading this on the train, and we ended up getting stuck near Philadelphia.
It was right outside the Baltimore station.
And we ended up, the woman sitting across from us, which we hadn't really been talking to, we had a great conversation. And this is what opened up the conversation, and the whole conversation led to all the books, and she was such a reader.
She was a teacher.
Yes.
She was a high school
Yeah.
teacher
I didn't mean to cut you
in
off,
a
but I
charter
thought that.
school. No. And some of the stories he writes in the vernacular of the people who live in the building.
I love
So
that.
some of it, like the first story I read like that, I had a little bit of trouble because the words are misspelled, so
Right,
it was
right,
right.
sounded out phonetically.
Mhm.
And but I thought that was a very interesting way. It's real. Like he
Yeah.
wrote
Yeah.
this story the way this particular character really spoke that way. So it's authentic too. And kind of sad what's happening in this high rise and in the neighborhood in general is gentrification.
Yes.
And
gonna say.
these people, some of the characters in the book, they're already struggling to pay their rents. Some of them are working 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet, and they have children to take care of. And other stories take place in the classroom, in the school, and this one teacher who's totally inept at teaching in a school like that. Like
Oh,
he just
okay.
has no empathy, and so I highly recommend it. I'm going to finish it, I promised myself. I haven't been reading it that long. I started reading
Right,
it on
right.
the train,
Right.
and I've been busy weeding my garden.
And taking care of all
and
those
taking
animals.
care of all those animals. So but
That sounds
anyway,
really interesting.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
You got your eye on that book now.
I was gonna claim it. I was waiting for you, but I said I know
Okay.
you can claim it
No,
first
no,
because
I
I'm
have-
reading the other one. That
I have
yeah.
3 books that I have to read
But I-
within the next
Okay.
3 weeks or whatever. So,
But it sounds like something I would really appreciate the style of it. I love a short story. I love a short story collection
Right.
because it's just with being so busy and picking up books, putting down.
Right.
I just love that and appreciate
exactly, and they're
the
short.
format.
Each chapter is short, and it's about a different tenants in the building, but it reads like a novel because it's all interconnected.
That is, I want to make sure it makes its way to me at some point because I'm always keeping an eye out for something like that format. I wish they would.
Well, I know the publisher is definitely behind it because I got an email from Simon and Schuster earlier this week or the end of last week, and they were promoting this book.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So yes, I was just going to say that this is a Simon and Schuster title. Hardcover, $26, just came out a week and a half ago. Go to your local independent bookstore. If you live in the Long Island, Nassau County area, Theodore's Books is in the hamlet of Oyster Bay, 17 Audrey Avenue. I live in Oyster Bay, so I'm so glad to have that bookstore in town. It's a beautiful bookstore with beautiful people working there. If you don't have an independent bookstore near you, you could go to Barnes & Noble. I like them too. They're fine. At least they're a bookstore, but no Amazon. Or
be careful.
If you're not near any bookstore, you can order through bookshop.org, and that organization actually supports independent bookstores. Each of their sales, they contribute a portion of the sales to an independent bookstore. So.
Great. Oh,
Do
thank
that.
you, Peggy.
You're welcome.
Repeat what's the title again?
Stories from the Tenants Downstairs by Sidik Fofana.
Good.
Okay, Sidik, if you're listening, we'd love to do an event with you.
On the road book events. Check us out.
That's right.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
you know what? I think let's take a break.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, because we got some, little.
Because that was exhausting. We have to finish this wine.
Take a break. Excellent.
And then we'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, thanks you.
It's good. Let's take it.
It's not bad.
No. Well, okay. You're good.
I do like it.
Awesome.
We're back. Part 2.
I'm excited because I like this topic. Judy's going to be talking about.
Yes. Okay.
The music.
Oh yes. Thank you, Carol.
She always has to remind you.
I know. Yeah. I don't have to think about it. I don't have
You
to
should
be mindful about it.
You know
because
what you should
Carol's
do?
mindful.
Switch seats with her and see if she remembers to do it all the time.
Maybe that's a good idea.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the one who wanted us to keep the same seating.
I did. But you know, we can switch it up a
You
little bit.
mentioned mindfulness.
I
And
did. And there we encourage our viewers to submit, thoughts on what we're speaking about. And we did have a comment on our last podcast that we did about mindfulness. And this is from Lisa. And she said, mindfulness is the topic she wants to weigh in on. She constantly makes up lists and rewrites them over and over to keep focus and priorities in order. And I thought that was a good thing to mention because
That's a good strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We could all benefit for that.
Yeah, I should do that. I'm still not doing very well in the mindfulness department.
well, our friend Paula Rizzo has a book called Listful Thinking.
Oh, good.
And it is.
We did an event with her.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she's a friend of mine, and we're both in the women's media group. And she talks about how the importance of making lists, and I've always been a list maker.
Peggy was writing a list right before we went on our second part. Our second part to talk about this topic, which
I have all my notes on an index card, and the index card, due to the fact that I am unmindful, is on my kitchen table at home. So I'll do my best to remember.
But you tried what Lisa said, and you tried to rewrite it.
I do make lists.
Yeah.
For things, like I had a list on my table. I knew what I had to bring today: the tripod, the camera, the laptop, the dessert, and that works. But I didn't remember to bring the list that I needed. So.
She wrote the list.
I
But
did.
she brought the dessert, so that's okay. We'll forgive her for that.
Peggy, tell them what the dessert is.
I made Toll House cookie ice cream sandwiches.
Sorry, you can't have it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Can't wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
What we're going to talk about today is a topic I chose, which is a bucket list. And this was when we first started talking about our podcast. This was one of the first ones that I suggested. I
That's
thought would be
right,
a good one, and we're finally getting to it. And in preparation for today, I did a little research about where the term bucket list kind of came from. And what I've learned is that the origin is not really clear. Some people think it originated with a movie. There was a movie with, I believe, Morgan Freeman, and maybe around 97 or right around
but the
2007.
bucket list was around before.
Right,
then. Yeah,
exactly. And I remember that term even way before this movie. But that movie dealt with,
that was a good
grown
movie.
men. It was dealing with their bucket list items. They're facing death, and what are they going to get done? But this term has been around for a while, and some think it's to deal with kind of morbid, what happens when they were hanging people. They would stand them on a bucket, and somebody would literally kick
the
that
bucket, and that's where Kick the Bucket came from too. He kicked the bucket.
I do my research.
These are good. Our next podcast is about words.
So that's one school of thought. The other one,
I'm
you
going
might
with that
appreciate
one.
this one because you're a farm girl, is what happens when you're milking a cow and the cow unexpectedly kicks the milk bucket over before you finish milking, and so
and that's a wastefulness, and that was it's a big deal.
I see
that
more
one
with the
I
first
can't make
one.
the connection with that one
Because you didn't
because what would that have to do with
Because
things
you're
that
not
you want
done.
to do?
You're not done. The job
okay.
is not done, and now you've spilt the milk.
I like the hanging one.
And you shouldn't cry over spilled milk. I'm sorry.
Oh, shut up.
So anyway,
Corny.
it just got me to think. What is our bucket list? I mean, we all do. We have them, and we should talk about them. I know Peggy started talking to some people, your siblings, and I think it was Monica, correct me if I'm wrong, but who said she didn't really have a bucket list, but I thought that was
her bucket list really ended up being she wants to live a good long time. I said, oh well, that's everybody's bucket list, Monica.
But I mean, I think I have one, and I wanted to see what you got. We've never talked about it, and we might all be surprised and get to learn a little bit more about ourselves. And so I have some items that I kind of jotted down, and they really haven't changed. I've done some of my bucket lists items already, and one of them was that you're gonna laugh was meeting Melissa Gilbert from House on the Prairie. I know that sounds weird.
No.
But no, it's not weird. She was lovely. It was a great event.
And I loved meeting her, and I was like, this is a bucket list item for me. I really
I'm gonna tell her that.
We're trying to get an event with her too.
Another event, but
then I will have to come to that one.
Oh, definitely. You're invited.
Again, but so some of my bucket list items would be going back. One was going to Scotland. That was a bucket list item, and I did that. But what I really would like to do is to go back to Scotland with just maybe my husband. We went with a very large group of people, and it was great. But I would love to just go back to Scotland, specifically go back to Loch Ness, and plant myself on the shore for the whole day, with like a cooler full of like Guinness or something, and just like
the more she
get drunk,
she'd see
and imagine that you see the Loch Ness monster.
I know I'll see it. At the end of the day, it's so beautiful there, and it's even if you don't believe in this whole Nessie thing or whatever, it's just a beautiful place if you haven't been. It is so peaceful and beautiful. I mean, all of Scotland I thought was gorgeous, but I mean, so I'd like to do that. I would also, something I wanted to do for a long time was to hike the Pennine Way, which is a very long hike that goes up the spine of the UK, from Britain all the way up to Scotland.
Tell me about this,
Yes,
I believe.
and it's kind of cool that you could stop off at little towns. You don't have to camp. You could just stop off at little towns on the way, sleep over in like a pub or here. And as you can see, there's a theme going on here. But and just make it a fun,
Mike C. Did you know Mike C? He worked at Syosset with me. He was one of my managers. He lives in Antarctica, and he lives there during the Antarctic summer, and then in the winter he travels around the world. This summer he did the Camino de Santiago in Spain. It's 500 miles a walk, and he did it.
Wow.
And it's the same thing. You stop in these little towns.
That I just love.
Yeah,
I love that.
I know.
You said Antarctica because I have asked my daughters what their bucket list was, and they were, I know, but one of my daughters wants to say she wants to go to Antarctica, and that's something she's always wanted to do, and so that's a bucket list item for one of my daughters. All right, so I have two more, and then we'll go. This one was very surprising to my family, but this is something I really want to do. I just don't know if I'll ever get it. is I would like to be on an episode of Sesame Street.
Oh,
I really would like to be on an episode of Sesame Street.
You would be very good.
I know I
on
would
Sesame
be. I
Street.
want to go on there with Ernie and Bert.
We're gonna
And I
campaign for
just
you.
love it. I want to sing the Sing a Song and I just,
I love that song.
Oh, me too. I just want to go there, and I want to be
Yeah.
Sesame
Go to
Street.
Yeah.
I know it may seem so
Can you
silly.
can we tell her how to get to Sesame Street?
Please, I would love to know how to get to Sesame Street. I just think it's the best show for children still on television. I mean, I'm a big donor for Sesame Street. I support PBS. I just think they are doing wonderful work.
Well, it's
I
funny
just
because
love Sesame Street.
when I was a teenager and I came upon seeing it on TV, and again, I was a teenager, and I'd watch it, and I kept thinking, oh, I hope this is on if I have kids. I want my kids to see it, and I loved it.
Did you learn your ABCs then when you were a teenager?
No,
not yet.
we'll put it on. But I mean, how cool! To me, I
Yeah.
mean, that's just and you're just forever there. You have this episode with. They
I
do
know.
such
It was a
great
great
things.
show.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the last item, though, we are working towards very actively, is it involves my girls. When they were little, we always, because we travel a lot, and there's a couple of places we would like to go. One of them is, and we will get there, is to see the Northern Lights. I want to see the Northern Lights.
I've seen them a lot.
I know you have, but I've never seen them, and the girls would love to see them, and that's the thing we are going to do. And the other thing is, for their 16th birthday, and they're 13 now, we are going to go to Paris.
Oh, nice.
And they
Paris
wanted
is
to see
great.
the Eiffel Tower. One of my daughters now is like, I don't want to go, but I said, we're going. Because that's something we talked about.
You've talked about it.
And we are going to go. So instead of doing this whole, I think these Sweet 16s just get out of control.
Hey,
and
yeah.
they're
Spend your
kinda
money on a nice
ridiculous.
trip. Yeah.
And we're not doing that, but we are, we're going to spend this time and just do a nice trip. And
if you
go
need
there.
somebody to photograph the trip, you could invite me, pay for me, and
you know what? I know that it's
I could
so
document
great,
it for
and
you.
so not self-interested in any way. That was
I'm very generous of you.
You are.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are my big bucket list items, which are not. I'm not hiking the Himalayas or anything crazy.
Yeah.
But just little.
That's cool.
Things.
Well, I know that I don't have my list with me because it's on my kitchen table. But this morning when I picked up the index card with things on my bucket list, I realized that there was a theme going there.
Can I guess the theme? Travel.
Holy mackerel, it was.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
said, oh my God, everything on my bucket list is, places where I want to go or, trips that I want to make. And at the top of it was I always wanted to go cross country either by train or even driving. But I think I'd rather do it by train.
Me too.
Yes.
And I don't know if it'll ever happen because it's very, very expensive.
Right.
But we were talking to the guy on the train on Amtrak. Were you with me? When the train broke down?
No, I was with you when the train
I know,
broke down,
but
but
I was standing at the back door and this gentleman
no,
was there and he was taking the train to Phoenix.
Ah.
And he said that he does it a lot. He goes across country. He said it's wonderful.
Do they have frequent train miles?
Like
they were. I was gonna say flyer miles.
Amtrak.
Do
It's
they?
Amtrak Rewards.
Oh,
Yes.
they do?
Yeah, they
Okay.
have a rewards program. I'm in the rewards program.
Maybe
so.
that's how you can
So,
get some points or
Yeah, I'll get my kids to chip in. I don't know.
They would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Anything to get her out of there.
Yeah. So that was one thing, and I've always wanted to go to London. I have never been to London. I really want to go, and Carol and I have wanted to go.
Well, I've
And
been.
then I know, but
I've
you were
been
gonna
too.
go back with me.
Well, yes.
And then it
Talk about
was the pandemic,
COVID,
so
yeah.
COVID hit, and we didn't get there.
We were also supposed to go to Italy.
Well,
Yes.
I've been to Italy, but the next thing on my list is Pompeii, because when I went to Italy, we were supposed to take a tour from Rome to Pompeii, and the excursion got canceled, and we ended up not going. And I always regretted that I just didn't, find another little tour company, a local company, to take me, because I've always wanted, to go. So, but I've been fortunate, I have to say. I've been to Paris, I've been to Rome, I've been to Florence, I've been to Venice, I've been to Lisbon, I've been to Salerno, I've been to Barcelona, I've been to Ecuador, I've been to Panama, I've been to Korea. So I've been to a lot of places.
And Cherubusco.
And Cherubusco, New York, place of angels. And Canada, we've been to Canada.
Oh yeah,
So,
Montreal.
but I want to go to Alaska also. So
And you didn't see the Northern Lights when you were up that way?
no.
Why didn't you arrange that?
Maybe it was the wrong time of year.
It
I
is
don't
wrong,
know.
yeah. Well, I remember the very first time I realized I was looking out my kitchen window. I was a teenager, and the sky was doing something really weird, and I was like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. And I woke up my mother, and I said, there's something weird. And she went, oh no, that's Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis. It was a teaching moment. And it was just looked like the waves across the sky, just the wave. It was gorgeous. It was very beautiful. And I think it happens more in the fall up there.
Yeah.
Than, so that's not on my bucket list. And sorry to say, Melissa Gilbert, I got to interview her.
She's such a show off.
So she, like Peggy said, that she was lovely, and Judy got to meet her too. She was very, very nice.
Just
And I
love
did go to say it again.
Just love Melissa Gilbert.
Yeah, she does. She really does. And she's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But no, am I cutting you off, or are you?
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. All right.
So what do you got
my
for us?
bucket list. Well, it's so funny when you were talking about you wanted to do this subject. I was like, it's almost sad for me to think that I don't have a lot left on my bucket list that really, I don't know, because I did do a lot of the things that I wanted to do, like opening up a bookstore. I never realized that could happen, but together we made it happen, and we also made it happen that we closed the bookstore. But
We lost a lot of money.
we lost an awful lot of money, and I did take a solo trip to London. It was a time in my life where I just needed to do something like that, and I can't remember why you weren't able to go at the time, but it was just like, I'm doing it, and I did it, and it was very, very lovely. I ended up hiring a driver, which your parents recommended this gentleman. And he could not have been nicer. He was costly, but it was okay. And he and his family actually came to my book launch here on Long Island when I had it for Without Grace. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Going forward, I'd like to do another book tour for my next novel.
Which is called?
Well, we hope it's going to still say Before She Was a Finley. And we'll see what happens with that. I'd like us also to keep improving on this podcast. That's important to me. And I'm writing about my journey as a writer on medium.com, so I'd like to keep doing that. And fostering more dogs. I want to foster more dogs. It's something that was just so rewarding. It's just hasn't been able to happen since I moved in this new place. And I do have 2 dogs, and I have been dog sitting for somebody else on occasion, and then my kids come, we just have a house full of dogs, so it just isn't happening. But, it's funny, I don't write about traveling. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I don't have that. I guess because I can go so far away in my brain.
Yes.
I don't know if that's it or
And
not.
not everybody has that need to want to go and do far travel.
Like, I know when in December when I went out to LA for an event in Hollywood, and I remember texting my daughter, I said, I fucking hate traveling. and she goes, oh my God, I love it. I said, I like getting there and getting back. I don't like the process, like waiting in the airport. I've gotten more patient than I have in the past, but it just makes me crazy.
So you like the being there, you don't like the traveling part of traveling.
Yeah,
It depends. We spent a lot of time on the phone that last trip, too.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
It depends. Really depends. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that was a different trip anyway. It wasn't like you were traveling with your family or your friends and
right. I was by myself.
sightseeing and
Yeah, I didn't like
It does depend. I mean, for my work, I did a lot of travel for work. I still, we haven't done it during the pandemic, but you're right. I mean, if it depends on what you're doing. I mean, I've been traveling for work, going all over this country, and when you're by yourself, it is really not as fun, than when you're with family or friends.
Well, when I went to London, what I did is I brought a notepad, and all the meals I had, I would just write and journal, and I ended up writing such a long journal and whatever, and I made a copy and I sent it to my parents for them to read, and they found it very fascinating. My mom could not get over. She goes, "You really went by yourself?"
They thought you were a floozy.
No, she actually thought I was very brave, because my mom was not a brave soul.
Well, that was brave to go across, to Europe by yourself. I don't know if I would do it by myself.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't know if I would. I don't like. I enjoy my own. No, I enjoy my own company. I live in a little apartment by myself, even though my family's right upstairs. But traveling, I want to share it with someone.
That makes sense.
It's just more fun, and it would have to be somebody who really enjoys being in museums all day, because that's what I love to do.
I love museums. I could go with you.
Oh my God, Europe has so many great museums, and
It is. It's fascinating, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's just.
You're not effective because you don't like to travel.
There's nothing wrong with you, and this is a great bucket list. I mean, you've got some really great items on there.
Well,
it's your novel. That's what I think is your best yet coming. It really is.
Well,
I read it twice already. It's not even published yet.
Thank you. Yeah, and my other novel that was published by Steel Cut Press, we're bringing that out again under On the Road Book Events Publishing, because the publisher, very small publisher, but she loved the book and she wanted to publish it. Sadly, she has dementia, and she has to close close down the publishing house. So the rights get reverted back to me. So I'd like to still do more with of Little Faith, because we didn't really get to do. I said we didn't get to do much with it because we opened the bookstore at the time, and I couldn't really get out there and promote it the way I'd like to. So that's something else that I'd like to do. But when I was thinking bucket list, I'm like, it'd be easy to say, I'd like to win the lottery, but to me that's not a bucket list. That's
it's not something that's really achievable. It's like it's
not, you can't cross it off.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I've done that now.
Yeah, I know.
Although I did win $2 last week. So.
Me too.
Wow.
Well,
see, look at this.
We did it. We did it. So there you have it.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
No, I think these are good lists, and some of the people you spoke to, had some really good ideas too.
Yeah, like your sister, she wants to paint.
I love that.
I know. It's funny how you ask questions.
Yeah.
I never knew that about Maureen, and we're very close.
Maureen,
it just never.
No, that's awesome.
I know. So
it's funny because when I was married, my mother-in-law, who was very challenging, we never knew what to get her for Christmas, and I knew that she was always interested in art and stuff. So we saw my then husband and I saw nice art, set paints and everything, and it was a little expensive. I said, we're going to get her that for Christmas. She was so genuinely touched by it, which she never got genuinely touched by anything. I felt so good about that we got her that.
It shows the right gift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I thought that was important.
Well, I think that's why this topic, was a good one, because it gives you a window into people maybe that you didn't know about. Something a little more, a component of them that you just weren't that in tune with. Like your sister, you know her forever, but you didn't know that was one of the things she really wanted to do.
And she's a very creative person, so if I had my life to live over again, I would be a photographer.
Okay.
But you are a photographer.
Well, no, I'm not a photographer. I don't even know how to use all the components of my own camera. So, but that's, that would be my bucket list if I have another life.
If she can find her list.
She'll scratch it on there.
But I wonder, I would love it if you folks would, on our Facebook page, Wildflowers, let us know if you have a bucket list, because I think it's.
I think it's a very good topic.
Judy picked a really good topic,
I
and
did.
we do have
Yes, very
another.
good.
I like our next topic. That's going to be big.
Yes.
That's Peggy's. Do you want
Yeah.
to tell them what it's about?
We're going to be talking about words.
Words, as the
We
BG
use them all the time.
We'll be using words while we talk about words.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there'll be lots of
Yeah,
lots
so
of
it
fun.
should be a lot of fun.
How much time do we have?
We have 4 minutes
Okay.
and 12 seconds.
Should we?
Well,
So, well, yes. Well, first of all, do you
Yes.
have a pet peeve?
oh yes. Oh my goodness, I had to write them
Oh.
down because
Why didn't
Yeah.
I write anything down?
yeah, I do.
Okay. You
I
go
have
ahead.
several, but I'll tell you the one that really bothers me is all those prescription commercials.
Oh.
Drives me nuts.
Do you know that they are illegal in Ireland? You're
Oh,
not
they
allowed to
should
have
be.
them.
I
Yeah.
wish they were
Yeah,
here.
and so when my in-laws come over, my husband's from Ireland, when they come over, we're fortunate to have them over a lot. They are amazed at all of the commercials for medical
Yeah.
drugs that,
Yeah.
that are on here because they are not allowed
Yeah.
over there.
Well, I heard
Yeah.
that doctors hate them too because they have patients coming
Yeah.
in and asking them to prescribe these medications, and they're like, "Oh my God, you know,
Yeah.
you learned about it from a TV commercial from
Right,
a
right.
pharmaceutical company. Of course,
And
they say
it's-
it's great, you know."
Right, and it's very, you have to pay attention because it's very tricky because, you know, they'll say in one commercial, and pay attention to this. And then all of a sudden the images are just so distracting that you're not listening to what the guy's saying. You could die from this and you could, it's just, and it also bothers me that, you know, like, you know, you watch the news and there's these commercials. So now let's say they want to report on these prescription drugs. They're not going to get, you
The
know,
revenue,
paid.
yeah.
Yeah. So
How about-
it's just,
oh, I'm sorry.
no,
No,
that's-
but one thing with that is, do you ever notice most of these ads also involve people eating outside? Watch it next time. There's always
Oh,
going to
no,
be
I
a
never
scene
noticed
where
it.
somebody's eating outside. Because apparently, when you're using any of these drugs they show on TV, you have to be eating outside.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh,
really
that's
we
so-
just make fun of all
It's
these
showing,
commercials.
it's
Yeah.
showing a healthy lifestyle, I
And
guess.
it's,
you
oh,
know.
look how great! And
Yeah.
you too can eat
Yeah.
outside.
yeah,
So no, I hate it.
yes.
Well, I have a pet peeve, and actually the reason why I thought of asking you this was because I did something in your house today. That's a pet peeve of mine. When I came
I'm not
in,
going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
I hate it when people put the toilet paper with the
Oh,
downside.
come on.
I do it everywhere I go.
No.
It's supposed to roll from the top. Otherwise it can roll down and it's hard to grab.
Wait, I think she's right because
Yes.
no, wait, time
No,
out.
it doesn't.
That bathroom, my kids were here and they somebody changed the toilet. And
Oh.
when you were describing, that's how I do it. Put the
Yes.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, they have the toilet paper hanging the wrong way.
There's no wrong way for the toilet paper. The only wrong way is if you don't refill it. I don't care
Yes.
how it goes, but
Yes.
if it's there when
All
I
right.
need
Well,
it to be,
Judy, we
that's
only
it.
have like 1 minute
No,
left.
I don't have any pet peeves that
You
I
don't
can
have a
think
pet
of.
peeve? No?
I mean, I'm sure I do. I just didn't prepare
Yeah.
for it. I mean,
I didn't either. It just happened
No.
to strike me when I was using the restroom.
Well, I
so
did
it's,
want to say one thing. Thank you so much for correcting my toilet paper because I don't use that bathroom. That's the guest bathroom, so I never.
Oh,
even-
you're welcome. We'll
Thank
reprimand
you.
whoever did that. That's
Yes, we'll
suspect.
have to find out. Natasha, Andrew, Matt, Corey. Which one of you?
she's coming for you.
Coming for you.
Well, we have very little time left on this podcast, but we would really, really like it if you could spread the word about our podcast.
Yes.
And we need more views.
And like us.
Subscribe.
You know,
Yeah.
like it,
Mhm.
subscribe to it, comment on it. If there's something that you don't like, let us know about it.
Yes.
Just be kind, okay?
Thank you. Let's play
Okay.
the music out.
Oh, okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay.
See you next
Thank
time.
you.
Bye.
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 Good job, Judy. I like that bucket list.
I
I never knew you were about the Sesame Street.
I know, that's something that I've always
That's
wanted
so
to do since I
cool.
was little. It's the only same one. Yeah.
I love Sesame Street. Now I want to see you.
Who's
on-
your favorite character?
Oh gosh, I guess Grover.
Grover. A lot of people like Grover.
Grover is my favorite
But,
too. I always liked
I'm
Grover.
Ernie. Ernie is my favorite.
Oh,
Ernie and Oscar.
Oscar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye, everyone.